Okay, guys. Welcome to another live stream. It's been a while. I've been super excited to do another one of these. Okay, so first off, let me know how the audio is. Just starting this off. Let's get the chat app going here so we can follow up with all the comments. Start at the top. Level drone, no issues with cloud cover. Wow. Well, I'm curious what that has to be about. How's it going, everyone? Excited to finally be doing a live stream again. I always love these, just because I get to kind of work with you guys, talk to you guys back and forth. So it's always super exciting. Audio's a bit low. Well, I can turn it up a little bit. It should be pretty good. Okay, let's see. I can probably move this up a little bit. Got a new wireless audio system, and this is how I've been doing all of my videos, which this seems to pick up the audio just fine whenever I'm using it in the video. So, let's see. How can I do this here? That's gonna probably on this side. There we go. That's like right in front of my mouth. Okay, let's follow up some of these comments here. And we're going to turn that on here. Okay. So, mentioned here the audio's a bit low. Yep, that's fine. Audio's fine for him. Audio works great. Good to see you, Randy G. Jay Stone, audio's a bit low. Okay. See if I can get that going. Hopefully, let me know, guys, if it's any better now, the audio levels. Audio's just fine. Audio's just fine. Okay. Volume okay here. Well, maybe they just need to turn up their devices. I don't know. Okay, looks like we're getting good here. Let's go ahead and do this here. See if I can get this connected here. I really want to get the comments going up on the screen. Let's try this tool, see if this works here. Okay. Sweet. Good to see everyone. Good to hear Ask Guy Solar. Good to have you in here. Yeah, it is a fancy mic. It was expensive. It's an expensive mic. It's the DJI wireless mic, and it is, yeah, like $300. So hopefully it works well. I'm glad to hear you guys are hearing me fine. Let's see if I can. I don't see the comments coming on the screen. It's kind of annoying there. Let's see, follow up some of these comments. Beverly Heatherdale, love your videos. Thank you. Kevin Holland, good to see you. Poster Uni, all volume's okay. You're very clear, but the gain is a little low. From PM, thanks. Cami, is that Cami, Oklahoma or Cami, Oklahoma? Welcome to the stream. Audio is good, sweet, good to hear. Less stuff, more freedom, living in the van life. The evil empires let me down again, Jason. The new small EB3-4 power station, or whatever the heck it's called, piece of junk. You'll have to explain a little bit more about that. I've had good experiences with mine. Dan says his EB3A works fine. Rip Dina Cola, just purchased AC200P, Energizer PP320, base running videos, first solar generators, also found 6 250-watt solar panels used. Sweet. For $240, that's an excellent deal. That's like, sheesh, let's see, you got 6 of them, so that's probably, right around 1,200 watts and you only pay $240. So that's a very good deal. I always recommend people look local for solar panel deals, especially if they're slightly used, because glass rigid panels last forever. I mean, 20 years or so. Your tone more than anything seems. When you get engaged, it sounds better, louder. Okay. Well, I'll just little speak up a little bit and we'll see how it goes. Okay. Owned it for 3 hours and doesn't charge. Another piece of junk from that company. Well, I would recommend doing a firmware update. That would probably be the first thing I'd recommend. I've had some people mention that it doesn't charge, and after a firmware update, it worked. Evo, is that Evo Ive or Evo Lev? You and Hobotech are my go-to channel for reviews. Keep up with the excellent work. Thank you. Appreciate it. Did you ever get a resolution from the manufacturer of the refrigerator where the battery exploded on your camping trip? Yeah, we'll talk about that. I'll make a note here. And yeah, we did find out what caused the explosion. Let me make a note of that. Lithium explosion, that'll be good enough. Okay. Fantastic deal. 60 each. Yeah, 60 bucks each is an excellent deal for those 250 watt solar panels. Yeah, Jerome's mentioning his EB3A arrives tomorrow. So yeah, I've heard mostly good news. I've had a lot of people email me directly saying, hey, I like my EB3A, but I have heard a little bit about, I'd probably say maybe less than 5% about people that have some issues with it. But it's a new product. You're going to expect some, some issues with it. I wish there was more vetting in the process, but, it's just what it is. I was reading out Blue Eddy sending out solar charging cables. If you purchase the EB3A, how do you contact? You have to contact them. Is that correct? I've heard it's mixed. I've heard if you buy it off Amazon, it comes with the charging cables. Dan Carney's mentioning that the battery temp, yeah. Interesting experience, though, on the battery temp for the Ecoflow app. I went camping this last week. July is always filled with camping trips. I took the Ecoflow Delta Max and fully charged it up, and the temperature kept rising after it was done charged. It was just sitting there completely, nothing was charging at all. The temperature got up to 137 degrees inside. It started to scare me. I'm not sure how far you want the temperature to go before it's a problem, but yeah, I'm not sure that the Ecoflow app was either throwing off a wrong number or the temperature inside that power station was cooking. So it started to scare me. Yeah, so I don't know if I want to know the temperature. Personally, don't show me the temperature and I won't be worried. At least with a power station that has NCM batteries in it. So interesting. I don't know. Have you ever seen your if anybody that owns Ecoflow power stations, how high have you seen that temperature go before? Because this was in very cool temperatures, no load. It just finished charging and it went up all the way to 137, and that was with the fans running. So pretty scary. How does one do an update on a battery bank? Well, some power stations have an app, and you just connect to the app with the power station, and then you can go through and do a firmware update. It's in the options. PM, got my FF Power P2001 back yesterday. It was repaired and worked fine for my CPAP last night without issues. It took them 2 weeks to repair it, and they had to replace some things. Hey, that's great news. Like I said, I did extensive testing on mine. I could never get this shut off. So PM was emailing me directly about kind of some issues that he was having with his P2001. The good news is FF Power actually worked with him to repair the P2001. Like, give me your thoughts on their experience with their support group. I'd like to know what your thoughts are. Well, the next comment here says they were very nice and helpful. Yeah, you do usually have a 24-hour delay whenever you're working. with someone overseas. Okay, I'm going to catch up on some comments here in a minute. Let's go ahead and start with a few things I want to talk about. One of the things I want to talk about first is just following up with your guys' thoughts on the DIY power station expansion video that I recently did. So let me go ahead and jump over here. So it was this video 6 days ago, the DIY. Let's just pause this here. You know, I love these
Rocky
ads.
Mountain Power is now paying.
Do you guys ever get like hit with the same ad on every single video you watch? I keep getting these power company ads talking about going to solar.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a new video.
Okay.
In this video,
so this is the video that
you can expand the
basically
capacity of a large power station using a...
Okay, so I basically took a 12-volt battery and dumped power into the AC200P, and I got a lot of really good feedback from you guys. And of course, there's a ton of different ways to do this, but if you're looking for the most efficient way to do this, you'd want to go out and purchase just a 48-volt battery, like a lithium iron phosphate 48-volt battery, and you would just hook it to the input on this power station, and it would dump in 50 volts of power, because 48-volt power battery has a little bit higher voltage than 48 volts. That would be the most efficient way to dump power into a power station that's large. The next step would be to buy a 24-volt battery, and then you wouldn't have to use any converters. You'd get around 240 volts or so, maybe even a little bit more, maybe around 260 volts. So that would be another option. So anyway, there are so many different ways. Some people mentioned using just a AC inverter hooked to the big battery and then plugging the power station charger into that. Now that's also a good way, but you're having a lot of conversion losses, right? Because you're going from DC power on the battery to AC inverter back to an AC to DC converter. So you're losing a lot of power through conversion. So I thought as long as you try to keep the power DC, you'd get a lot of efficiency in that. Anyway, this was a really cool video. Let me know if anybody's tried this. I'm going to follow up some comments here. Throw this over here. My comment thing's not working on my screen. I didn't get a chance to test it out, so it's kind of a bummer, but I at least got these comments here. Let's see. I guess the smaller battery banks can't take an update. Yeah, some of them can. The EB3A is pretty small. It takes it. Same with the Ecoflow River products. They're pretty small. Okay, so Kay Lynch is asking about using the 3BA and a 50 amp hour battery, an alligator clips with a female cigarette adapter. Yeah, that you can plug it in and it will extend the power for any power station. EB3A would work just fine. Currently HD. Should I be worried about fire using my Ecoflow Mini to power fridge in my truck bed camper? Shell full time with a solar panel. I would just keep an eye on the temps. You just got to make sure that it doesn't go too high, right? That would be my only worry. In the back of a truck during summer with a shell, you could see temperatures above 120 degrees, and that's just ambient. That's not with anything running. So just make sure it stays cool. Ecoflow power stations, I haven't read anything where one is actually exploded or caught on fire. I did see a YouTube video with an Ecoflow power station where something happened to the electronics inside, but it wasn't bad at all. Okay, let's see here. Evo Live. I'm gonna go with Ive on that one. I have 3 Ecoflow solar gens. Haven't noticed any temps higher than normal. Fans kick on, increase speed when fast charging. Yeah, and that's what's weird. The fans were running and it was still going up and up and up. So very interesting. PM saying he's gotten the same ads over and over. Yep. Yep, the same solar ads for sure. Okay, sweet. So, Kaylin Chest, another question. I'm still having issues with EV3A in UPS mode. New ATT router, only 30 watts, shuts down randomly, won't reboot. Never happens when connected to a household outlet. Yeah, that was the one thing that I noticed, and I was hoping that they would update in their firmware. If you watched my EB3A video, I noticed that when it was plugged in and charging or in UPS mode, very rarely would it just cut off power and then turn back on. And that's probably what's happening here. Except for you said it doesn't turn back on. So maybe your router has some sort of safety thing in there that just doesn't keep it from turning back on. Jake Liu is asking, how do you do that? Can you make a video about a 48 volt battery to the AC 200p? You basically take the same exact video with the 200 amp hour battery, but instead of having any converters, you just put it straight into the solar input. So pretty much easy there. Just bought a 12 volt dual zone for weekend camping. Eventually overlanding, I'm thinking FF Power 500 or Blue Eddy EB55. The FF Power CN505 is excellent. The only downside to that power station is it just charges a little bit slow over solar, but fridges don't use much power at all. So you can definitely keep it going with a 100 watt solar panel charging at 85 watts or so. Blue Eddy EB55, that one's an excellent power station too. So I would say they're kind of sixes. The EB55, some people mentioned that there is a weird solar charging bug with the EB55 where if you have shade on your solar panels, it goes down in power and then it stays at 119 volts because it kind of thinks it's doing 12 volt charging. So I'm not sure if the new EB55s have that solar charging bug. Sweet. PM liked the video. It's going to do, he would do a 24 volt battery instead of 12 volt. Yeah, for sure. I think a 24 volt battery is a good thing there. Okay, so let's go ahead, and the next thing I wanted to talk about really briefly was, well, I can talk about the Lithium Explosion really quick. So that was a very interesting thing that happened, guys. I'm not gonna lie. This was
if you're
this
thinking
one
about
the
buying solar
explosion
panels, don't.
video here. If you guys
The
haven't
U.S.
seen
government
this,
will literally buy them for you.
Basically, this was the battery here, and from the investigative work that both I did myself and some people from the manufacturers of multiple of these fridge companies, they actually emailed me. Excuse me, they emailed me directly. That one of them was actually Alpacool, which is the manufacturer of this battery. And they said that on their batteries, they have a warning not to charge the battery directly with the solar panel because there's no charging protection in the battery itself. That's all built into the fridge charging. So from my thoughts, and because there's no warnings on this thing, remember that the battery was just, it has a 5521 port on it, and the solar panel has a 5521 port on it. So it kind of just says, these go together, why not charge? So basically, we think the issue was with it charging with the solar panel directly. It overcharged the battery. There's three things that you can do to explode a lithium NMC battery. That is overcharging, and short-circuiting, or puncturing it. So if any three of those things happen, you can have an explosion with the lithium battery. So that's probably what happened there, and pretty scary. But you know, most people that have you know, lithium-ion batteries in their power stations, you should feel pretty safe. They should have a lot more protections in it than just this battery here. So that's the update on the battery. They did compensate my brother-in-law for the damage in his truck. That was very kind of them. They also took the battery off the shelf. They are not selling the battery until they can conclude the investigation and make changes to make it safer. Yeah, so they worked with me amazingly. Once they saw this video, because I sent it to them, they had called me on the phone, the COO, and one of the, it was chief technical leads of the company, so two upper management people. They sat and they wanted to hear exactly what happened and how it happened. And basically, I basically talked to them for about 2 hours. So And then they kind of went through and then they did their investigations. So let's see here. Let's follow up some comments here. My Esco JP50 Pro arrived yesterday. Noticed that it had temp around 10 degrees to keep items in the deep basket frozen. Keep the items in the shelf as, from freezer. Is this normal? I'm just thinking about this comment here. Around 10 degrees to keep items in the deep basket frozen. The JP50 is a single zone for 12-volt fridge, so I wouldn't run it as a freezer and try to get a fridge reaction out of it. If you want a dual zone, go with the dual zone. It's a single zone, so run the whole thing as a fridge. That's probably the best reaction you're going to get to that. KJ, blah, blah, blah. Before you bought your last vehicle, did you ask the dealer for your owner's manual before you bought your vehicle? No. Also, the owner's manual, if you're mentioning about not reading the owner's manual, there's no owner's manual about charging the battery with the solar panel. So there's nothing in there about charging it directly with the solar panel in the fridge owner's manual or in the battery's owner's manual. So just FYI, there's nothing in there. Heat from the sun via charging would lower resistance, thus raising voltage. Yeah, but the heat, well, you get heat and resistance because of the panel heating up to extreme temperatures. It's not bad if under normal conditions. Wow, no BMS in the battery. I think charging it out of the fridge would be a normal use case. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Randy G said they were, that's good to know they were honest and responded, took care of it. Yeah, I'm guessing most other companies, if this happened, they would have probably just ignored my email. New Era is a great company in that way. Always like watching your videos. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. I am going to remove this user who is commenting a ton. Sorry, you're gone. Do you still think the AC200P is a good product? Do they fix the drain issue or buy the AC200 Max or AC300? There's not that much drain issue. A lot of people have been talking about that. It's pretty normal versus all other large power stations. The AC200P loses around 1% per hour on the DC output and around 2% per hour with the AC output on. So it's not too bad at all. If you leave solar panels plugged in, you can keep up with that really easy. KJ's, okay, following up, thank you for clarifying. They can't blame you, that's all. Yeah, of course, they never blamed me at all. They were so nice, guys. They wanted to know exactly what happened, and it was great. There was no blaming at all. They were very happy to basically to make sure everything was taken care of. They were very quick to compensate my brother-in-law with this truck. Like I said, everything was good. I'm not going to complain about it at all. Yep, that guy was a quack. I definitely admit it. Okay, it's the same concept in transmission lines. Heat lowers resistance with sag lines, allows for higher voltages, just theory. Okay, are you mentioning about my short video, Asleep, Art? About where my panels were super hot and I was losing efficiency because they were so hot? I'm not exactly sure, like I don't know the exact science behind why hot solar panels, like extremely hot solar panels, don't produce as much power as ideal temperature solar panels. My thought was that it is resistance in all those little wires heating up. So anyway, that's just my thought here. Beverly saying, very lucky someone wasn't hurt. Yes, that's so true. That was a scary situation, so. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. So let's go ahead and move forward with the actual fridge giveaway, the SetPower FC12. I know a lot of people want to find out. Now, I actually announced the winner. Well, I picked the winner a couple weeks ago, and I replied to them in the video. So let me go ahead and pull up that video really quick, and I'll show you guys. So if you ever want to find out a winner, usually what I do is I'll mark it. Let me pull it up. This one, I think it's this one. Thinking about this down, so there's no audio going through. Okay. Hey, look, it's another solar ad from that same company. Okay, so if we come down here, the winner of the solar giveaway was actually Randy G. So I actually I had SetPower ship them the fridge about a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks now. It's just been I've been camping a lot, so I've been pretty busy here. But congratulations, Randy G. She is actually on the stream tonight. I actually wanted to have her send me a picture of her using the fridge and see how it was going, but her family's under the weather tonight. So basically, she couldn't send me the picture. But anyway, she has been using the fridge. She is very happy with it from my understanding. So Randy, if you could just share just a short little comment about what your thoughts are on that small fridge. I personally love it because it's the smallest fridge that I have in my little arsenal of 12-volt fridges. I'm starting to sell some of my 12-volt fridges because it just takes up too much space in my house. So I've been selling some of them off. But anyway, so first off, if anybody's local, you can email me if you want to buy any of my fridges. I'm basically selling them at a discount, but I'm not going to ship these fridges. It'd be like $100 shipping. But if anybody's local here in Utah, just message me directly through email and let me know if you're interested in buying a fridge. I'm just selling a few of them. I'm not selling all of them. But anyway, Randy G was the winner. She said it's here in the comments here. She's saying it's awesome. Thank you. I love it. It works fantastic. So Randy's been subscribed to the channel for a while, so it was really, really good to be able to have her as the winner. So yeah, the SetPower FC12, it's still on sale, by the way, guys. SetPower and Iceco and Bouge RV, I believe, they're all doing pretty big sales on their fridges right now. So you can pick that fridge up for around $200 right now, which is a really good price. And if you're looking for something that's maybe a little bit more features or that you want, larger size, or you want a compressor that's a little bit more higher end, you can go with the Iceco versions of these fridges, which have the Seacop Danfoss compressor in them and a 5-year warranty. So let's go ahead and the next thing I really wanted to talk about, guys, is scammer comments. This really, really needs to be discussed because I have a lot of people, shirt's like pulling down. I have a lot of people that email me saying, hey, you replied to my comment, am I a winner? And I just want you guys to know that I will never reply to your comment saying, hey, call me or text me or telegram me or WhatsApp me, whatever that app is. I don't use WhatsApp. I don't use Telegram. So just FYI, I don't use any of that stuff. But let's go ahead and open a couple examples of some scammers here, okay? So this is an example. I had to go online because I remove all these off my channel. So I had to go and look at some other channels. So hopefully you guys can see this. Let me try zooming it in. Okay, there we go. Okay, I want to talk about what a real reply looks like versus what a scam comment looks like. So this is on Todd Parker's video. He has an excellent YouTube channel if you haven't seen it. I always recommend checking out his videos. But you can see Lit No Regrets is also a subscriber to my channel. And they got a response from Todd. And you can see the real comment from Todd, the actual channel, has a kind of this bubble around the YouTube comment. That's how you can tell it's a real comment, okay? Try not to go off just the profile picture. The next thing you want to look at is this one here. This is a scammer. Congratulations, contact on claiming your prize. That's horrible English, first off. And then look at this. This is the YouTube channel's name. So they want you, congratulations, pointing up to text this number. Now what they're gonna do is they're gonna say, hey, you won, and I'm gonna ship you something, but you have to pay $70 shipping. I'm gonna give you a $2,000 power station. You want it, but I want you to pay shipping, so it's not that bad. That's what these scammers are doing. So they're having you pay a fee of shipping. They charge your credit card and you never get that money back. Or I don't know what they do, maybe PayPal, I don't exactly know. But basically, you need to tell the difference between these two comments here, okay? You got the bubble comment And then you got the no bubble comment. Let's look at another example. Okay, I'll close this one. Here's an example. This is what my channel looks like. I got the gray bubble around the entire name here, okay? And let's look at just a few examples of spam. Okay, here's another one. Okay, congratulations. And they want you to text this number. So this is another example. This is a scam. YouTubers are never going to have you text them. We don't want to give out our number. Why would we give out our number into public space, right? So if anybody's trying to get you to text them, that's a horrible idea. Please don't do this, guys. Please. Here's another one. This is an example. They want you to WhatsApp them, which is kind of it's like a phone app system where you can chat, right? So anyway, I hope this was helpful. This is kind of just wanted to give you guys an idea of kind of, hey, it's working again. That's awesome. My chat thing. Let me stop that chat though. Okay. So hopefully that guys, that's helpful about the scam comments. I don't want anybody to ever spend money on these scams, okay? Please do not. If you guys have any question about it, always email me directly. I always have my on my channel, you can find my my email address. So please, let's go ahead and the next thing I want to mention now, I'm going to mention there is a surprise at the end of the video, guys, so, or at the end of the stream. And I'm not going very long tonight. I'm only going for an hour, okay? So you might not want to hop off. I'm just telling you, there's a surprise. And I'm only mentioning it during the live stream. I'm not mentioning it anywhere else. So you may want to stick around. Okay, before I jump into the next thing, let's follow up with some of these comments. See if we can get this to work, this comment thing here. I really want this to, I really like when my comments pop up on the screen, so I'm trying to get this to work. So let me try this again, okay? See if we can get this to go. It's currently loading my comments. Okay, here we go. Okay, yes, it's working. Okay, cool. Okay, so Sandy Rose, wow, congrats, Randy. That's great. Yep, and she followed up, thank you. Okay. So Ask Guys are replying to currently, I really like the Renogy Black one so far, but I'm testing them every day to see if they degrade over time like older flex panels. Yeah, ETFE versus PET. We're gonna have to figure out which ones break down over time. Sandy Rose, good to see you in the stream. I must have missed something here because makes him want to miss. He had another one. You'll have to let me maybe clarify. So YouTube has a horrible problem right now, and it has to do with these scammers. YouTube either is too dumb to fix the issue, or they like the extra traffic and ad revenue and comments and everything. I have no idea what YouTube's doing, but they are failing, and they are causing people to lose hundreds, if not thousands of dollars daily because they cannot fix this simple scam problem. I am so frustrated with YouTube. There's so many YouTubers out there that are so frustrated. I'll tell you guys, it is, if you, like, I have a tool where it automatically removes these spam bots. And if I have a video that keeps getting hit, I just run that and it's done. A lot of YouTubers go in and try to delete these comments manually, and you'll have 100 to 200 replies, and that takes hours, okay? So I'd recommend any YouTuber out there, if you are getting into this or have never heard of this, check out just the spam deleting things, spam remover videos. There's a couple of them out there, but they're tools where you can remove all these comments. And it usually starts around 5,000 subs or higher. That's when these spammers start noticing. But every single channel out there, from the biggest to the smallest, gets these comments, and YouTube does nothing about it. It is so frustrating. Thank you for reporting them. That is a way that you guys can help, is by reporting them. Yep, and KJ mentioned that there's no check mark. I personally don't have a check mark because you have to have 100,000 subscribers to get the verified check mark on your YouTube name. Luckily, they've added the bubble around the YouTube channel to help people know that it's the official channel. What's more value, 2 power stations or 1 big one with an expansion battery? I can get 2 AC200 piece with the price of AC300 with an extra battery. Just curious, 2 is 1 or 1 is none. Good point. There's a lot of ways you could look at it. I think it kind of depends what you want to do. A lot of people will go with a large power station for running their big appliances, and then they'll have a medium power station for doing all their small stuff. So like cell phones, laptops, you know, stuff like that, because that will, it doesn't have as much parasitic drain, so you can leave that on longer. And anyway, I would say purchasing 2 power stations is pretty expensive. The DIY expansion battery is fairly affordable. The only problem with the expansion battery is charging it back up, and it takes a little bit of time. You know, because there's no automatic charging process. You have to either charge it off AC power or charge it with a solar charge controller. So I would like to revisit that topic in the future for sure. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of direction. For me, I have lots of power stations, so it's hard for me to discuss, you know, kind of, I've not been in that situation. So anyway. I'm surprised. I wonder what that will be. I don't know. Did I mention it earlier? I didn't think I remember mentioned something too big. Actually, I did mention a post a little bit earlier. You're right. Jake saying, I think 2 might be better if you can power more stuff with 2 AC200 piece. Yeah. You could separate your solar panels into 2 different arrays, which is nice. The AC300 has 2 MPPT solar charge controllers, so it's kind of the same thing, except for you would get more storage out of 2 AC200 piece, especially at that price right now, guys. It was at $12.99. That was such a good price. That's almost like picking up a used model, but it's new. KJ used to live in Springville. I have family that lives down there right now. B3 is mentioning about the 2 power stations. 2 is better than 1. Yeah, if you have the money to get 2, you know, that's great, but a lot of people are really limited on their budget, so. Yeah, YouTube doesn't care. I totally agree. Yep, doesn't care. Ask Guy. Well, you got a broken unit that was refurbished. You haven't really experienced a unit that wasn't broken. The drawbacks. I'm trying to think of the AC200P drawbacks here. It charges at 500 watts from AC. Yeah, that's a drawback. It doesn't charge super quick. I was able to get pretty good power. I got, 1,800 watt hours out of mine, so it gets good power. It puts out 120 volts. The sine wave's clean. Yeah, there's not many downsides to it. It's a little bit older. It doesn't have an app. It doesn't fast charge, but neither does the AC200 Max. So it doesn't have expansion batteries, but there are, you know, DIY expansion options. So yeah. Anyway, that was my kind of drawback that I'm talking. I don't think there's any huge drawbacks. 500 watt charging is kind of the drawback that I kind of get annoyed with. We'll have to see what he says. Thank you, Practical Engineer, for reporting scammers. Linus from Linus Tech Tips is really trying to get YouTube to pay attention to it from one of the recent WAN shows. He's been talks with. Okay, good. They did make a change to the comment filtering. It's called experimental, and it does nothing. It doesn't do anything. Okay, here's Ask Ive's downsides here. No 100 watt. Okay, so no 100 watt USB-C or 100 watt charging. Let's see. Requires panels to be in series. Yep, that's true. 700 watts base versus 900 watts on the AC200 Max. Yeah, but the AC200 Max is also $500 more than the AC200P. So yes, if you have the money, you can jump up to the AC200 Max. You can get the expansion batteries. You can get the Bluetooth app or the Wi-Fi app. You can get the faster charging solar at 900 watts. And with the AC200 Max, you can also just plug in any solar panel and it'll work. Now I have an AC200 Max that I'm testing right now. I don't know exactly when the video is going to be out, so just a heads up, I will have a comparison video between the two. But for the most part, they're very similar. They're very similar sizes. There are a few advantages to the AC200 Max, but you're also paying $500 more for it. Ask Ive Solar, can you help find uses for as many power stations as you'd care to own? Yeah, Ask Ive has so many uses for his power stations. He does a good job running lamps and TVs. And anyway, he basically runs almost, what, I would guess maybe 80% of your house off of the small power stations all around the house. Okay, so spam bots, yep, still following up with spams. I don't think it's $90 off because they're faulty. I believe it's just their encore sale. All their power stations are on sale right now. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Ask Ive does use every single one of them, for sure. I see with more and more companies coming out with power stations that have new UPS capability. Are you considering adjusting your rating system at point? Yes. Eventually, when it's more common, I will be adding that. It's awesome. For example, my experience with the SetPower P2001, yes, there's a downside to it that it doesn't have, it doesn't get full capacity, but I've lent that power station out to family members on camping trips, and that thing is just a beast. It just goes. It's fine. It just works. It's simple and easy to use. It charges fast. I've been very happy with the SetPower P2001. Just if anybody's looking at that, or if they're kind of on the fence, if you could ever get a cheaper version, I wish they dropped the price on it. If that thing was around $1,200, maybe around $1,100, I think they'd sell like hotcakes. They're a really good power station. I do like how they have UPS mode. Hey Jason, great channel. I'm looking at the LG 70 pouch cells for low mileage EV. Would you appreciate your opinion? Hey, change your name instead of Captain Kirk, right? Are you putting it in like an e-bike or something? Maybe clarify just a little bit on what your purpose is. Where are you putting them? I was never super impressed with the AC200P at its price. That's why it's almost going to buy the AC2 Max. Yeah. Now the pricing's much better, right? Trying to think. I still think the AC200 Max it could come down in price. They have it priced around $1,700. I would love to see it a little bit lower. Let's see what Dave Mack. All batteries equal? What I mean is, if two different companies are making a power station using the same kind of battery, could one power station batteries last longer? Yes. Usually out of the bigger brand name batteries, big brand name power station companies, they're using more of a name brand cell. So your Ecoflows, your Blue Eddies, Goal Zeros, Jackeries, they're all gonna be using a brand name cell. And maybe your budget power stations are gonna use like the cheaper non-brand name. Doesn't mean they're not going to be amazing, but they probably won't last as many cycles. I've yet to test that. It's hard to prove that. That's just a thing that I've thought about, but I mean, I don't have any evidence that that's true. SetPower is a good DC power station workhorse. Yes, I agree. That thing, 200 watts output, it's awesome. Yeah, meant 100 watt power delivery. You know, on a big power station, the 100 watt power delivery is not super important, but it is useful for certain things, like charging laptops, I guess. And I agree. I think the AC200 and so the 200P and 200 Max are a little bit outdated now because they don't have UPS mode. They don't have fast charging. They're great with everything else. So Hopefully we'll see some new models in the next year or so from Blue Eddy, just to update these to kind of what other companies are putting out. Fast charging. I mean, these aren't deal breakers because I always use solar anyway. So 900 watt solar on that power station is excellent. 700 watts is still very good. I can't complain about those solar levels. Those are higher than most other companies. So AC wall charging is a little slow. Everything else about the power station is pretty decent. Let's see. Yeah, the AC200P for $13.99 is a pretty good deal. I just purchased the AC200 Max, 3 PV200 panels. I hope I spent my money wisely. It was a hit on the budget. I saw your video on the big Energizer. It appears to be a clone of the Blade. Yes, so the AC200 Max is very similar to the Energizer P2000. The only difference is the AC200 Max accepts larger expansion batteries, which is excellent. It has the Wi-Fi app. I would not say the AC200 Max is a bad buy at all. I've been using it for about a month now on my setup. I'm just rotating it between my power stations on my transfer switch, and it runs my house on my transfer switch just fine. My wattage never really goes above 2,000 watts unless I'm running the microwave. That's where it kind of boosts above, and that's where I need the AC300. I could probably survive on an AC200 Max with an expansion battery just fine for my solar needs. PM. The only slight issue with the FF Power I have is the 110 output on the battery, but you get full AC power in UPS mode. Yeah. So it drops when you're running off the battery. It goes down to 110 volts AC, but when you're plugged in the wall in UPS mode, it uses your wall power. So let's see. I want to jump over here really quick. Okay, so let me get this. Let me just bring this up really quick. I want to see what those sales are right now. So let's see what they're going on at. Okay. So we have the Prime Day Encore, Grand Sale Encore, basically. Let's see if these are marked down. So 3,300. That's definitely the cheapest price for the AC300 right now. I've seen this. Usually it's around 3,500 to 3,400. So they are sorry. $34.99 or $35.99. So it is, and I guess maybe get another, I don't know. I haven't clicked on that to go through. These are all fine. I want to see the stuff down here. So the AC200 Max with an expansion battery is at $3,000. It's usually $3,500. So it's basically $3,100. So $300 there. That's decent savings. Do you guys know anybody that has these EP series? I'm just curious if anybody's ever bought these. These kind of seem like a weird... I know Hobotech reviewed one of these, but these kind of just seem like they're a little bit... Not a lot of people buy them. I don't know. Interesting, right? And they're pricey. Here we go. Okay. So the AC200P at the beginning of this sale was sitting at $12.99. So they did raise this $100. So it's $13.99 right now. So, yep. EB3A is sitting at $209, which is pretty decent. Like I said, the MSRP is $299, and they usually, like when I had it on my review, it was $249. So $209 is a pretty good price. And the EB55 is $449. Do they have an EB70 on here? Yeah, $500. The EB70, this price for an EB70 is pretty decent. This is a good price for a 700 watt hour power station, $500. So I'd say if you're looking for something that's kind of a medium size, the EB70 this is a really good price. Yeah. Okay, so maybe what I'll do here is we'll talk about the surprise. So Blue Eddy offered to do a EB3A giveaway to my viewers. And I kind of wanted to give back to the people that are watching my live stream. So basically anybody that sees this live stream will know about this giveaway because I'm not mentioning it anywhere else. But basically, let's see what I want you guys to do. I would say maybe down in the comments, trying to not make this too, so like people will catch on to it if they just read the comments of the video. But I would say let's have everyone mention something about the EB3A down in the comments section. And then what I'll do, what I'll do is I'll randomly go through and take all the comments, and then I'll just choose a winner that has to mention EB3A in it. So just make sure your title or your comment has EB3A in it, and you'll be entered in to win the EB3A. And I will be choosing someone from the comment section, and and Blue Eddy will ship one to you. So that is kind of the surprise here. Is just anybody that joined this, now you guys know that you can win an EB3A just by commenting down below. Say your favorite thing about it, or maybe something about it, and mention it, and I will choose a winner. I'm going on a backpacking trip tomorrow, so I'm not sure. I'll be back later next week, so the winner will be a little bit delayed. Just be aware that I got a lot of things going on in the summer, so I can't just right away, announce the winner. Okay, let's jump back in some comments here. Let's see. Let's see if I get this here. Web shot. Okay, there we go. Jeff Sale. Is it possible to connect any DC to DC controller temporarily to a vehicle battery, similar to how you did it in your video? Yes. Any charge controller that's designed for the battery that you're going to hook to, you can charge it with a solar panel or DC to DC charging. So if you had a lead acid battery or a lithium battery, all you'd have to do is hook it straight up to that battery and plug in a solar panel, and you're good to go. Charge controllers are meant to work with specific types of batteries. Most old charge controllers only worked with lead acid, and some of the newer ones work well with lithium iron phosphate, lithium ion, and lead acid. So they have programmable settings. So yes, you can connect it up and it'll charge. Hurricane Prepper, the EB200 for $1,400 on Amazon is between the two. Yeah, I agree. It's right in the middle. It gets the higher input on solar. I just was not impressed with the capacity tests on the EB200. Well, Energizer PPS 2000. I'm pretty sure they're the same exact one. So interesting. Let's jump down here. Yep, it does make odd noises while charging. I mentioned that in my review video. SetPower has great prices. That is true. They are a budget fridge brand, and they're great fridges. Let's see, other brands of the same FF Power unit for 12. Really? Okay. So yeah, if it looks like an FF Power or looks like an Alcatel, it's going to be the same unit. Choose the cheapest price. I don't care which brand you buy it from, guys. Just buy the cheapest version. But saying that, FF Power has a good support team, and I've had multiple people tell me that they've contacted them and they've gotten back, especially PM that was having a major issue with his. So maybe it's more money because they have to pay employees to support their product. Always got to think about that. Fast charging can degrade batteries faster. Yes, but fast charging is different on a 2,000 watt-hour power station. Lithium iron phosphate batteries can take a 1C charge rate. So a 2,000 watt-hour power station charging at 1C means you're charging it at 2,000 watts. That's the max that you'd want to charge a 2,000 watt-hour power station is 2,000 watts. A 0.5C, which is a 50% charge rate, is great, which is 1,000 watts. And that's where the FF Power P2001 comes in, charges 1,100 watts. So it works really well. So these power station companies still have some room to go before they're damaging their batteries on fast charging. Anything 0.5C rate and below is completely fine. I'd even push a 0.75C and it'd be fine. If you're up at the 100% charge rate, 1C, maybe you'll get a little bit of extra heat in there. But if they have good fans in there and it's keeping everything cool, I wouldn't notice a huge issue. I mean, lithium iron phosphate's a tough battery. You can handle a lot. Sandy Rose, just saying, don't forget to hit the like button. Please, guys, hit the like button for sure. Okay, Jake asking, this is a great question. How much electric bill do you see drop when you use it every day? I've seen about $30 drop off my electric bill. And I was already low. My electric bill, because I'm super frugal, like very frugal with my electricity, I was paying around, I pay around $70 a month, but my usage has dropped down below $50 a month now. And that's just me having the transfer switch in there and everything. So I almost want to upgrade to a larger transfer switch so I can take everything and run it off power stations. So I don't know. You do see a drop. You can still get the AC200P for $12.99 using Hobotech's coupon. Yes, yes. You could use his coupon for sure. You throw him, you know, some commission, but hey, at least you're supporting somebody that's trying to teach you about power stations. So that's totally good. Okay, here we go. Do you know if you have 2 lithium iron phosphate batteries, 100 amp hours with a 100 amp hour BMS, able to match a 200 amp hour with a 200 amp BMS and for a 2000 watt inverter? Or will the 100 amp BMS trigger? If the wiring, so if you have the batteries in parallel and the wiring is short and a very large gauge wire, like probably 4 AUG or maybe 2 AUG wire, probably, yeah, I'd probably I'll go out with like 0 AUG, or what they call it, 0-aught. I can't remember exactly what they call that wire. Not in the top of my head. Anyway, if you go with the super low connections between those batteries, they will share the load very well. You want to make sure the lengths of the wire are the same, everything like that. And then you hook your inverter up to those wires there, and then those batteries will share the load. So if you have 200 amps going through there, you should have a balance between the batteries at 100 amps per battery. So yes, that does work if the batteries are in parallel. The same thing works if you have 2 batteries and you hook them in series and run them off a 24 volt battery, because then you're just dropping the amps down to 100 amps anyway, because you up the voltage to 24 volts. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting things that go on there, but as long as the wires are large enough, you should be able to share the load between the batteries. Clayton Blaze. Is there such thing as a firmware software update on the AC200 Max? Is that even possible with Bluetooth? Yes, there's a smart app, and you can update the firmware and control the power station all from the smart app on the AC200P. I was interested in the EP500, but couldn't stomach the price. Yeah, it was very expensive. And yeah, I'm glad you got the FF Power P2001. Yes, they are always improving. Beverly's asking if they're going to be better. Yeah, they're going to be cheaper. They're going to be better. The prices are going to be coming down if inflation kind of gets under control, right? I mean, I can't guesstimate what's going to happen, but with normal technology patterns, you see prices come down as you get more competition and as things become more popular. So I'm hoping. Let's see. We got a lot of. Okay, so maybe I should clarify, guys. Here, I'm going to clarify. For the giveaway video, or the giveaway part of the video, after the stream has ended, because then it posts comments, right? So after the stream has ended, after this is all over, come back tomorrow, comment on the video something about the EB3A. Hopefully you remember that, because then that will actually post your comments. Right now it's in this live chat, and I can't really pull the comments out of the live chat, okay? So I would say tomorrow come back, click on the same video, it'll be on my channel, then mention something about the EB3A and its features, and then you'll be entered into the contest, okay? Sorry, I should have clarified that earlier. Okay, I didn't want to go too long on this stream. Let me fly through some of this. I know you guys are flying through the comments here. Oh my gosh, this guy's back. It's horrible. The dude that I blocked. Let's see if I can ban him again. Okay. Let's see, follow up with some of these comments here. How do I get this app? I want this app. Minimize this here. Sorry, I'm just moving some things around on the screen right here. Sorry for the delay. Okay. Yeah, I think they changed their name, by the way. That person changed their name. That scammer that you're talking about. The spammer, so anyway. I put them in timeout. Okay, I'm jumping to the bottom. Also, another update, guys. Let me just get rid of this comment here. I just finished testing those 7 bifold budget solar panels, so that video is going to be out next week. I have a video coming out tomorrow. It's the UPEZ 1800 review, so that's going to be out tomorrow. And then next Friday, I have the 7 budget bifold solar panel comparison video. I know it's a mouthful, but I basically went out and purchased all these budget bifold solar panels. I spent like $1,000, guys, a lot of money on these panels, and I tested them all. So hopefully you guys are going to like that video, and there is definitely a clear winner, and you guys are going to find that out when you watch that video. So next Friday, be excited for that. I have the 7 solar panel comparison video. They are all bifold panels. Most of them are ETFE. Some of them are super budget, like super budget. And they've still put out good power, but then there's a couple that are right in the mid-tier that really impressed me. So I think you guys are really going to like that video. The sun is so hot here in Georgia. Afraid it will damage my solar extension cables if I leave them outside. Oh, no, you're not. Most of those wires got to get up to 90C, which is crazy hot, before they'll melt. So they might feel like they're going to roast, but they should be okay. I don't know what the comparison on 90C is. I don't do the Fahrenheit C Celsius conversion back and forth. Hello from Australia. Any good news? Any news on Goal Zero on new products? I feel like there's been nothing for years now. They are building a new they're building a new headquarters down the street from me. It's a really fancy building. I think they're kind of like Jackery, where they got a lot of people on social media that just talk about the product, but a lot of those people just don't know that there's other options out there. So they're not interested right now in making improvements on their products, I guess. I mean, I haven't seen anything new from Goal Zero either. B3 Outdoors. Speaking of flying, I bought a drone this week. I'll need a power station just for it. Yep. Hey, I used to be into drones. I'm just too busy now. I called them quadcopters because I was doing FPV quadcopters. I never got crazy into it, but I would love to pick that up. You know, FPV goggles and all that stuff. I thought that was a really fun hobby. Dan Carney, great question. As an operator, should I never drain the battery below 20%? So power stations have built-in protections. So if you take them down to 0%, you're actually not draining it down to 0%. You're probably taking it down to 10% because the manufacturer is going to leave some buffer on the top and bottom of the battery. And that's usually how they'll get the full 2,000 life cycles or more. That's why some Blue Eddy power stations have 3,500 life cycles, right? They're leaving a buffer at the top and bottom. For a standalone lithium iron phosphate battery by itself, sure, you can maybe not take it down to 20%. Even if you did take it down to 20%, are you ever going to cycle it that much? I mean, you're talking 4,000 life cycles on a standalone battery to 3,000 life cycles. And then to get the full lifetime out of the battery, usually around 10,000 life cycles. So I think by the time we use 10,000 to 5,000 life cycles on these devices, at least the bigger power stations and stuff, you're going to have new technology out that's cheaper. It's going to last much longer, that type of thing. So I would say use your power stations, guys. And if you want to be really careful, maybe only take them down to 10%, but there is a buffer on the front and back of the battery. American wire gauge, yep, AUG. Thank you for clarifying that. What do you think of the new Ecoflow setup? Silver Symbol did a video. Yeah, I think that's really cool. They're kind of going to a modular, non-power station setup, at least with this. So you actually purchase the inverter, you purchase the batteries, you purchase the solar panels, and it all kind of clicks together like Legos. I believe, speaking of Legos, Jerry Rig Everything, Zach from Jerry Rig Everything also did a video on the Ecoflow setup, so pretty cool. I really like that. They have not let me know about that system. They haven't talked about it. Blue EB3A, I have one. I like that it's way easy to charge it from solar and from the wall outlet. Yeah, it's a very easy to use power station. Yeah, I'm getting down to here. Dan Carney, thank you. Yeah, I spend a lot of times on those spreadsheets, so I'm grateful that some people think they're useful. Looking forward to the solar panel comparison. Me too, man. I just barely finished shooting the video today. I have a lot of editing to do and kind of some before and after. So yeah, it'll be a good video. I think a lot of people will like it. I'm in Central Alabama, and some of my cables have been in place for more than 5 years. Never had a problem. Also, I'll mention that I had 107 degrees this last week, and my wires are black, and I never had an issue. A lot of times they can really handle the heat. I wouldn't worry about it too much. My understanding is that you need premium batteries to wire in series or parallel or has a proper BMS. No, a lot of the cheaper companies are actually coming out with drop-in batteries that do series and parallel. So on some of the cheaper ones that are older, yes, they didn't allow series, but they all allow parallel, so that's not a problem. For example, the Dr. Prepper new edition that I just got, I just barely got it in the mail. Excuse me. It does series and parallel connections up to 4 connections each way. So you can build a huge battery bank with these Dr. Prepper batteries. 100+ degrees, guys. We are in a lot of heat right now. It's got a lot of heat waves going around the world. Prepping on the Creek, good to see you, man. Thanks for joining. I'm getting around 1,000 watts average of solar into my AC200P from the... Oh yeah, because you use the DC to DC charging enhancer. That is awesome. So there are ways to get more power into the AC200P, and that's a great example. Prepping on the Creek has an excellent video about this charge enhancer, where basically you can take additional solar panels and dump them into the AC charging port. What it does is it drops those solar panels down to 58 volts, and then you can charge it right into the second port. So you can technically dual charge with 2 arrays of solar panels on an AC200P. So thank you for sharing that. I always forget about that. 90 degrees Celsius is 194 degrees Fahrenheit. Thank you very much for clarifying that. That is very hot. Is it okay to charge a power station to 100%? I do it all the time. Some people may not want to, but I'm going to use my power stations all the way because I have a lot of them, and I feel that the tech is going to advance pretty quick here. I think we're going to start seeing some really cool battery chemistries. So if you want to baby your power station and not use it, you're going to have some pretty cool tech coming out in 2 to 3 years. So I would say use your power station now, buy a new one in the future. Lithium titanite batteries. I've seen some videos on them. There are some major downsides to them. They get a ton of life cycles. What was it, like 10,000 life cycles or something? But the downside is the voltage is really off, so you have to it doesn't match 12 to 24 volts fairly well. I can't remember some of the other downsides, but they're also very large. It's not very energy dense, so you have to build a pretty big battery combination. Where can I find more info on the Ecofo Lego setup? Watch the video from Jerry Rig Everything. His name's Zach. He's an awesome YouTuber. He's a big YouTube channel. He just made one where he installed it into a RV, which is really cool. And then also Silver Symbol. Chris, I believe his name is Chris from Silver Symbol. He's a big YouTuber. He also did a video on it. So yeah, you can see. And also on their website, just Google it. It's kind of a modular setup, I believe they were saying. Any word on future higher capacity EB3? No, that's all back secret stuff that I don't know about yet. Blue Eddy doesn't kind of let me know about new things really until it's like right there. Same with Ecoflow. I don't know about any of their new stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to get more, maybe like early tester on some of this stuff. I still wouldn't be able to tell you guys, but at least say, hey, there's something on the horizon. Right now, I'm not sure. Regina, you'll leave your solar extension cables outside all the time in the weather? If they're hooked to solar panels, you do. MC4 connections are waterproof. Also, I have not had issues using my Anderson power pole connections outside all the time. It's fine. I haven't noticed any issues. Now, I'm guessing if they were submerged underwater, you might have a different issue. But I leave all my extension cables outside in the sun connected to my solar panels 24/7 in all weather conditions. MC4 is completely waterproof, and that's what I'm using on my two big arrays. And then I have used some temporary connections with Anderson power pole, and I haven't had any issues. Level Drone's got some 12-year-old lead-acid batteries still working. Then you must be really babying those. That's awesome. That's good news. Or they're just you have a huge battery bank that just doesn't cycle all the way down or all the way up. Okay, here we go. Blah, blah, blah. I'm getting through these. Feel bad for people in Northeast Texas. Tough to be the cattle trade right now. Yeah, with the drought and with the extreme heat. I've read a little bit about that. Is it true you shouldn't store a power station at full charge? I mean, if you go off of, if you want to get, 4,000 plus life cycles on your lithium iron phosphate battery, which is crazy long, guys. That's like 10 years of use. Don't keep it at 100%. Maybe store it at 90%, but I store all mine at 100% because when the power goes out or when I want to use the power in that power station, I'm going to get as much power in there stored, and then I'm going to pull it all the way out. So I cycle mine pretty much down to 30% or so, and then I'll charge them back up to 100. So I'm not doing a full cycle. I'm doing like 100 to 30. So that's just what I do, but I have a lot of power stations. Regina, Jay Stone's answering your question. I leave them connected to glass panels permanently mounted outside with cables running through a hole drilled in the wall. Yeah. There's lots of ways to do it. I run it underneath my door because I don't want, to damage the house or, permanent hole in the wall. But there's lots of ways to do it, guys. My AC200P wastes a lot of power, phantom power, hoping the technology gets better. Very inefficient, but better than nothing. So are you talking about when you leave the AC inverter on? Yeah, it uses 2% per hour, and that's any large power station that I've tested. Well, the Ecoflow Delta Max was 1% per hour, but any of the Blue Eddy power stations, they're around 2% per hour. The FF Power was I was very impressed with the FF Power. It was around 1% as well. So you got to remember that inverter takes the power and from your DC voltage of 48 volts on these large power stations puts it up to 120, and it's always, if you have that enabled, it's always waiting to be used. So if you're not using the AC inverter, click it off. Robert Giseri, I can't pronounce, I'm sorry. After the fire scare, are you completely against lithium NMC? I am nervous about it, I'll tell you that. I'm sure there's some companies out there that are bigger brand names that don't have issues with their batteries, but I am definitely thinking twice about storing that stuff, or at least having it in a big room in my house. So I would just say, any chance that you can get to purchase a safer battery chemistry, I'm all for that. Now, people don't have issues with, everyone in the comments here, they mentioned they have Ecoflow products. Jackery products, you don't hear about those things blowing up. I don't think there's going to be a problem if you have it, but Jake, it's in my review. You can watch my 45-minute review on the AC300 to get the exact percentage. I'm not exactly sure if I remember. I think it was right around the 2% mark as well. Like I said, they're all pretty similar, 2% per hour on the AC inverter parasitic drain, or phantom power as Regina put it. Okay, last question here. Let's see. Anyone who has a CTEC at 240, 320, My two have stopped providing or accepting charges over USB-C. I'm working with support to get an exchange, but wondering if any had issues. I don't have my 240 anymore. I gave it away in a video, so I can't say that, but it would be interesting to hear what other people have to say about it. Yeah, that's what I'm using to run the fridge. It runs down too quick, not very efficient. Well, during the day, just make sure you have solar plugged into it. It's usually under 100 watts of parasitic drain. So if you have a 100-watt solar panel plugged into it, 200p, you'll have to have 24 volt, two 12-volt panels put together. So if you had 200 watts of solar plugged into it, so two 100-watt panels in series, you'd be able to fight off that parasitic drain easy. Okay, cool, guys. So let me clarify one more time about the EB3A giveaway thing. So after I finish the video, I'm going to end it here just in a minute, the stream. It's going to kind of finalize the video, and then it'll show up on my channel as an actual video. You can click on that video, and then you can see a comment section. Just mention something about the EB3A. As long as it has EB3A in the title, I don't care what it is, throw that down below. You'll be entered into the giveaway. Uh, 60-watt power delivery. Cool. That's a cool feature. Anyway, guys, lots of cool videos coming for you guys. Like I said, the UPEZ 1800 is coming out tomorrow. The 7-panel bifold solar panel comparison video is going to come out the next week. And I have a couple power station videos that are really cool. I have a Kickstarter model that is just, I'm very impressed with it, guys. Very impressed with it. No issues on it so far. And it has a ton of features. I'm still curious about what the price is going to be. I'm just looking up at my schedule here. But so that's on the horizon. The other power station that I'm currently testing, and the video is going to be out in 2 weeks, I believe. I'm trying to get it for the 2-week mark, is going to be the Montech X1000. I've had a lot of people mention that they want to see that review. So far, it's been very, very good. Now, that one has lithium NMC, but they're the polymer pouch cells, and they also they have very good buffers on the bottom and the top of the battery. So it doesn't use much of the battery. It's rated at 2,000 life cycles for a 1C discharge rate, which is crazy. So that power station is going to have a lot. Let's see here. David Mack, good live chat, thumbs up. Have a good weekend. Yep, thanks you. You guys too. Jake, you're welcome. Sandy Rose, thank you for mentioning people to hit the like button. Please, guys, hit the like button. It always helps the video. And let's see if there's anything else. I think we're coming to the end. Hopefully, everyone understands how to enter into winning the EB3A. I'm super excited somebody get that. Anyway, throw any comments down below as well. And hopefully, you guys are excited. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you guys next time.